So welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K24 Next Gen. In today's video, we have a little bit of a different rebuild, one that I have really never done in the past, and this one very well could change NBA history. As I'm sure many of you are aware, back in the 2018 draft, both the Dallas Mavericks and the Atlanta Hawks had top 5 picks. Dallas with number 5 overall and Atlanta with number 3 overall, respectively. And ultimately, they decided to make a draft night deal that would change the course of NBA history forever. Atlanta selected Luka Doncic, number 3 overall. Dallas selected Trae Young, number 5 overall. And then they swapped the pair. There was one draft pick included in that trade as well. But my oh my, this changes the course of league history forever. I've certainly done some what-if rebuilds in the past. Today we're going to be rebuilding both the 2018-19 Atlanta Hawks and the Dallas Mavericks with Luka on the Hawks and Trae Young on the Mavericks, just to see how much league history would change if we go about this course. That certainly could have been a possibility. So I know it's a different style of video. It's not one I do a ton, but when we have a lot of downtime like this before, the NBA draft, in the offseason, free agency, all that stuff, I thought might as well kick this one off. And game 1 of the finals was last night. I'm actually recording this on Wednesday, so I don't know what happened. I hope the Celtics won. But let me know any other video ideas down below in the comment section. Let's get into this one. So we're here at the start of the 2018-2019 NBA season. As I'm sure many of you are aware, Luka was taken number 3 overall, Trae Young was taken number 5 overall, and then they were swapped for each other. I just kind of undid that process. They are on the teams that technically drafted them, even though it was kind of written in stone when both teams made the selections, that the pair was going to be swapped for each other. So crazy to think of all the possibilities, all the scenarios that kind of went into this, and just where we stand today in terms of NBA history. So both of these teams won 24 games the year prior. It was obviously not a fantastic season for both of them, and they're rebuilding teams. So we're going to continue that rebuild today, with the end goal being maybe we can get these two to meet up in the finals. I think that would be really cool. One little note on this: anytime I do a 2-team rebuild, I don't allow myself to trade, between my own teams. Obviously, I had to swap Luka and Trae, but any other deals, they're not going to be happening. So let's just start out with the Atlanta Hawks. We'll go over this team. Obviously not very good, and we're probably going to be pretty bad in the first season, unless Luka just wants to play at an MVP level. So, point guard spot. This is tough. Jeremy Lin, don't get me wrong, was a super fun player for 3 weeks or whatever it was, but he is certainly not a long-term point guard option for us here in Atlanta. I don't know who Jalen Adams is. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I do. Luka here at the shooting guard spot, obviously going to be starting. He can play the point guard spot. He can play the shooting guard spot. Hell, he could probably play the 3 or the 4 if he really had to. You got Kevin Huerter here, who's only 20 years old. I would certainly like to develop him a little bit into, a rotational piece for us here. DeAndre Bembry, I'm not really sure how much we're going to get out of him. We have a 41-year-old Vince Carter, who I just don't really see getting a lot of minutes for us here today, but it's certainly nice to have a veteran. And then Tyler Dorsey here as well. The small forward spot, Kent Bazemore, or whoever that is, pretending to be Kent Bazemore. Obviously not every, former players in 2K. Taurean Prince is here. Still a very solid rotation piece in the league today. I'd like to get him some minutes, see how high that overall can go. And then Justin Anderson, that's not a name I've heard in a while. Former 76er, I believe, as well. Power forward spot, John Collins, 21 years old. I like John Collins. He's fine. There was a moment in time that I thought John Collins had a chance to be like a top 10, 15 player in the league. I don't know if he ever quite got to that clip, but certainly still a little something there at only 21 years old. Mari Spellman, another name. Is he Michigan State? No, he is Villanova. I must be thinking of somebody else. But no, he's 21. Of course, the potential's maybe a little nice. The overall's not great. Center spot, Alex Len, Dwayne Dedmon, Tyler Zeller. I'll just be straight up honest with all of you right now. I don't see a future where any of these guys are my starting center. So that's just where we're at there. Over here with the Dallas Mavericks, maybe a little bit better. Trae Young, 20 years old, was the number 5 overall pick, heading into a rookie season that is going to be very, very interesting because this team is a little bit on the older side. They also have Dennis Smith Jr., who was taken 2nd overall back in... Wait, no, he was not taken 2nd overall, but you understand, he's still here. We are going to see if they can maybe be our 2 point guards of the future. JJ Barea, Devin Harris, Trey Burke, and whoa, wait, what? Oh, shit, he was 2018 now that I think of it. All right, well, I'd like to get Jalen Brunson some minutes, certainly, at some point in time. Shooting guard spot, Wesley Matthews. You got Ryan Brokoff, who I feel like sounds familiar. I'm not really sure how familiar. Harrison Barnes. Anytime I think of Harrison Barnes and the Dallas Mavericks, I just kind of think of the image and the screenshot, if not the video, of when he got traded in game to the Sacramento Kings. That's absolutely insane. But one of the greatest, well, I don't want to say greatest, one of the most hilarious moments in league history, I'd say. Dorian Finney-Smith, certainly still a rotation piece in the league. league today. He's only 25 here, so maybe we can get that overall to go up a little bit. Dirk Nowitzki, as I'm sure many of you are also aware, Dirk and Luka did spend one season together in Dallas. I'm not trading Dirk. He's going to ride it out here. I'm sure this is probably his last year anyways. Maxi Kleber still going strong for the Dallas Mavericks. I know he is back in action. I don't know how he played last night because, of course, I'm recording this prior to the finals. I'm trying to get ahead. Ray Spalding. All right, and then the center spot, DeAndre Jordan. 30 years old. I don't know. Dwight Powell is here as well. This is an interesting team, of course. Both these teams, as I mentioned, won only 24 games, and neither of which are very good. So we are going to make some trades with both groups. I'm certainly not going to try to compete in year one, but we are in a very, very nice spot right now. Kind of a smallish first trade for us here in Dallas. We're sending J.J. Barea, Devin Harris, in a 2023 second over to Detroit for Langston Galloway and Marcus Lewis. I'm not sure who that is, but Galloway's going to come in, be my new backup shooting guard. A little bit of an upgrade there from what we had, and he's on a multi-year deal, so it's certainly nice. He could be a trade asset down the line. I don't know if Dallas fans are going to kill me for trading J.J. Barea, but we have a log jam at the point guard spot. So Langston Galloway, welcome to Dallas. I guess a somewhat notable move here that I really wasn't expecting, but it is a deal with the Boston Celtics. DeAndre Jordan, Dwight Powell, and a 2019 second-round pick are heading to Boston for Gordon Hayward and Al Horford. Now, I am making this trade for a couple reasons. I know we're probably not going to be the most competitive team this season, but adding players like Hayward and Horford are going to help us be just a little bit more competitive, and they're going to give us a little bit more long-term flexibility. I understand post-leg snap, Gordon Hayward was not necessarily the all-star Utah version of himself that the Celtics were expecting. But he is certainly going to be a nice upgrade in this rotation. And then Al Horford, just on a multi-year contract, it's going to be somebody that we can either move at some point in time, but he's a good veteran presence, and the overall is a little higher than DJ. DJ was also moved 50 games into the season to the New York Knicks. So I'm fine with this deal. We don't give up a single first-round pick. We do give up a second. Maybe it could be relatively high in round 2, but I'm fine with it. And what will likely be our final trade here with the Dallas Mavericks before we kick off year one, it's going to be a deal with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Nerlens Noel is going to be coming over here to Dallas. Maxi Kleber, Trey Burke, in a 2020 second, heading back to Oklahoma City. Now, this is a deal strictly to get a backup big man here with Nerlens Noel, only 24 years old, which actually might not be accurate. He might have been a little older. Well, maybe. I don't know. He's on a multi-year deal. He's certainly a serviceable enough backup center to Al Horford, and obviously, after moving Dwight Powell in that deal with DeAndre Jordan to the Celtics, we certainly need one. So, Nerlens Noel, welcome to Dallas. Actually, has he been here before? No, he has not been here at this point yet. He was eventually a Maverick. So this is the team. I actually went ahead and moved Harrison Barnes to the 4. I'm probably going to start him over Dirk, just a little bit younger, a little more potential, and obviously with the addition of Gordon Hayward, he's going to take up the majority of the starting small forward spot. So I don't really know what to do here because, in hindsight, it's very, very clear that Jalen Brunson turned out to be a better player than Dennis Smith Jr., but having, a 20-year-old sit, not getting any minutes, it's a 75 overall, doesn't really seem very smart. So I think Brunson might spend a year in the G League. I don't really think that's the smartest, but it's also only a 3-year rebuild, right? Jalen Brunson's never going to become a superstar throughout this video. So that's just kind of where I'm at right now. That's my final deal here with Dallas. I think we'll have a few less trades with Atlanta, but we probably still have 1 or 2. Our first trade here with the Atlanta Hawks is going to see us land Derek Favors from the Utah Jazz. He's a nice upgrade at our center spot, and Derek Favors was actually really good once upon a time, believe it or not. So Justin Anderson, Jeremy Lin in a 2022 second, heading back to Utah in this deal. And although I don't love Favors' contract, it is a multi-year deal, which certainly gives us a little bit more security at that center spot. So I'm fine with this deal as a whole. I absolutely don't love it, but I can certainly live with it, especially considering what else we had at the center spot right now. So if you're wondering, I moved Luka to the point guard spot. I think it just makes a little bit more sense, especially because I do want to get Herter a decent amount of minutes at only 20 years old. So now we have to find ourselves a backup point guard. I think I'll probably let it ride out for the majority of the other positions. At least one of these centers is going to get moved. I'd like to maybe try to find myself an upgrade here behind John Collins, but that's not the end of the world if I can't. Both these guys on multi-year deals. So the backup point guard spot is something I do want to address. So Dedmon and Bradley, just because Len's a little bit younger than Dedmon, some sort of point guard. I mean, Dellavedova's sitting here. I don't love, again, giving up second-round picks, but I can certainly live with it. It's not like I really use them too often. DJ Augustine, who would I prefer? Would I prefer DJ? Ooh. Sean, I've never missed a mid-range jump shot. Livingston sitting right here, but he is 33, which definitely could be a little scary. So Delly's a 73. And then what is the overall here on Augustine? He's 75. All right, you know what? Let's pick up DJ Augustine here. Good backup veteran point guard behind Luka Doncic. Of course, not going to be playing a ton of minutes, but it's certainly going to be better than what we had. So at this point in time, I mean, unless Amari Spellman, who is on a multi-year deal, so it's not the end of the world. I don't know. Does Vince Carter have any value? I mean, no, he doesn't, obviously. Why the hell would I think he would? I mean, unless there's just something here. Maybe a team that's contending wants to give me a backup power forward. I mean, Patterson? Why the hell not? Why the hell not? Who really cares? This Thunder team is good. They obviously have Russell Westbrook, pretty much MVP candidate, Paul George. So we'll send Vince Carter over there. I know he never got a ring in real life. Maybe he'll get one here in today's video. Who the hell knows? I know that's a lot of trades. I know this video's already been very long. Let's set both rotations. Rotations are finalized. Before we get into them, I just want to say something. It's very important to note that we do have, or both teams rather, have their first round draft picks this year, unprotected completely, no swaps, no nothing. So good to note. I think there's a possibility both these teams are bad. I think it's more likely that Atlanta's a little bit worse than Dallas, but ultimately both of these teams are probably not going to be anywhere nearly competitive enough. So, Luka Doncic, Kevin Huerter, Kent Bazemore, John Collins, and Derek Favors. Of course, we've made a couple changes to the way this lineup probably would have looked, but I'm pretty happy with the way things are right now. You know, I think we've set ourselves up well. Might not look like it immediately off the bat, but I'm developing a plan with this team right here, and I think it's going to be really good by the end of this video. Taurean Prince, Alex Len, DJ Augustine, Patrick Patterson, and DeAndre Bembry is going to be our bench unit. By no means is this an elite bench. I'm sure if Hawks fans are remembering correctly, obviously outside of Augustine and Patterson, who weren't actually here, this probably was not a very fun time. And honestly, I don't blame you. It would not be enjoyable for me either. That is Atlanta. Here over with Dallas, Trae Young, Wesley Matthews, Gordon Hayward, Harrison Barnes, and Al Horford. We did a little more work with this Dallas team. I think they maybe needed it because obviously Luka is the best player out of Trae Young or him. So just trying to set a foundation for both these groups in ways that we think is going to be responsible. So that's the starting five here with Dallas bench unit. Going to let Dirk be the sixth man here. You know, the man's 40 years old. He doesn't need to be in the starting lineup. It's not like we're trying to win anything anyways. Dennis Smith Jr. going to be behind him. You got Nerlens Noel, Dorian Finney-Smith, and then Langston Galloway. There's certainly a world where maybe I play Jalen Brunson 10 minutes a night at the backup shooting guard spot over Langston Galloway, but he'll spend 1 year in the G League, and then we'll make a decision on him after that. So that's the team, or both of the teams, actually. I know neither of them are good. I'll probably sim it out here with Dallas just to see how things go, because I have a little bit, I guess, of higher hopes, but neither of these teams are probably going to be very strong. Let's just face the facts. I'll see you guys at the end of year one. This Dallas team surprised the living shit out of me. They won 46 games. Now, although that's not super competitive, nowhere near the top of the West, I'm assuming, that is all the way exceeding expectations. I'm kind of at a loss for words, honestly, if you can tell. Very, very fun season. Again, I know we made some moves to improve this team prior to kicking it off, but wow, I'll take it. Giannis is your MVP. Insane numbers. Luka does win Rookie of the Year for the Hawks. I did not peep the Hawks record. I'm assuming it wasn't as good as Dallas's, but all things considered, just fantastic numbers for the Rookie of the Year. He won Rookie of the Year in real life, too. Rudy Gay in San Antonio, your sixth man. Rudy Gobert is your D-boy. Ignore the uniforms. I know those are the new updated Jazz uniforms. They actually just dropped new uniforms a few days ago. Karis LeVert, most improved. Mike Budenholzer, or whoever the hell that is. They won 65 games. All right, this was also, I never even talked about the state of the league at this point. You can see we're in the playoffs here. Actually, it's pretty cool. And whoa, we're in the playoffs with the Hawks too. Wow. I will take it. I really will. This was the final year, as I'm sure many of you are aware, of the Kevin Durant saga. It's not saga, but the era in Golden State. He went down in the finals. Klay Thompson went down in the finals. I still don't think that, that matchup between them and the Raptors gets enough love. I understand there were a lot of injuries, but God, it was such a different point in life, and maybe I'm just reminiscing. All right, let's get into it a little bit. We finished as the 8th seed here with 46 wins, as I mentioned. I still haven't even looked over at the East, and we went 40-42. So, I mean, obviously, it's a playoff spot. We are actually technically, I guess, higher than the Dallas Mavericks, but they had a better record than us. So let's dive into the stats from both teams. First off, starting here with the Atlanta Hawks. Let's see how Luka did. Led us in scoring about 22.5, 23 points a game, 7.5, 8 assists, 6.5 assists a game, while being 50% from the field. And he shot 40% from three. So fantastic season for our 20-year-old superstar rookie. And then there's a fall off. There is a fall off. Surprise, surprise. John Collins, damn near double-double, so I can certainly live with it. Derek Favors, who of course was a very nice addition to this team. Bazemore, Huerter, Prince, Augustine, Len, Bembry, and then Mr. Patrick Patterson. All right, over here with the Dallas Mavericks, a little bit of a different look. Nobody was more than 15.5 points a game. So a lot of team basketball. Not a bad rookie season from Trae Young, though, with 15.5 points, about 4 rebounds, 8 assists. It's 42% from the field, and he shot about 35% from three on about 6 attempts a game. I'll take it. Gordon Hayward getting it done. Here's our second option. Harrison Barnes, Matthews, Al Horford, Dirk Nowitzki, and what will likely be his final year, the swan song, if you will. Dennis Smith Jr., DFS, Nerlens Noel, Langston Galloway. All right, I got to pay attention to both of these. Did not think I was going to. Here's a look at the Super Team Warriors with Steph, Clay, KD, Draymond. Oh, I forgot Boogie was there in 2019 as well. All right, and here is a look at the Toronto Raptors team, who obviously ended up winning the finals. I'm not sure why Kawhi Leonard's not here. That's... what? Kawhi should be here. Where's Kawhi? Well, obviously, since these are user-created rosters and 2K share scenarios, not everything's going to be perfect. But yes, this is the 2019 season, so Kawhi Leonard technically should have been in Toronto. Unless they traded him for DeMar, I doubt it. All right, let's do it. We drop game one here with Dallas. We drop game one with Atlanta. We tie it up 1-1. We go down 2-0 over there in the East. Down 2-1, down 3-0. I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself. Hawks get eliminated. They get swept. We are down 3-1 over here in the West, and we get bounced by the, Super Team Warriors. So not a surprising ending for either of those teams. Fantastic season, all things considered. And the Milwaukee Bucks actually ended up beating the Warriors. That's actually really impressive considering I don't play with injuries on. So good for you, Giannis. One regular season MVP, one finals MVP. All right, Dirk does call it a career. We are not going to override it or anything like that. We're going to let him walk off into the sunset. Enjoy a very happy retirement. Wow, Vince Carter. I forgot I traded him over to the Thunder. He did not get his ring, unfortunately. Jamal Crawford, Tony Parker, who spent a season in Charlotte. God, so strange to think about. Pau Gasol as well. Randolph, wow. Mari Stoudemire, Kyle Korver, Haslam actually just retired. All right, crazy to see all those names right there. Vince Carter, Amari entering the Hall of Fame. Pau Gasol, Hall of Famer. I'm pretty sure he already is. All right, Coach's Challenge. That's good. All-Star Game team with the highest... I don't care. No. Lottery is a lottery. We're not changing that. That's good. Then a couple uniforms, things. All right, that's fine. Draft lottery. I thought we were both both teams were gonna have lottery picks. That's not the case. Neither team is going to have a lottery pick. This is the Zion and John Morant draft class. So I am, a little surprised, I guess, to say the least. Phoenix Suns end up with number 1 overall. They also had number 1 overall in 2018. They fucked it up. Maybe they will not fuck it up this time. All right, so staff signing. Rick Carlisle, or whoever that is, saying he's Rick Carlisle. The ratings aren't great. I believe Rick Carlisle was fired from Dallas in 2021. I think that's correct. I'm not going to lie, I don't love those ratings, but I would say we overachieved. I mean, both teams did, to be fair, so it's hard to argue, to fire your head coach. But I also feel like I'm just kind of delaying the inevitable, right? Like this offseason, we're going to make both these teams even better, and there's a likely chance that we're not going to be, NBA champions next year, and I'd probably just fire him then. So let's go ahead. Let's make the tough decision. I'm going to fire Rick Carlisle, who I do think is a good head coach. He just has really bad ratings here, and he trusts some of his really young teams in Indiana a little too much. But we are going to fire Rick. We're going to let him take his talents elsewhere. And then here we have Lloyd Pierce, who kind of similar. I don't love the ratings. I mean, the potential's kind of nice, but we're just going to kind of reset. I think that makes the most sense. All right, so whoa. All right, Steve Kerr's sitting here. I'm certainly going to entertain an offer for Steve Kerr. It would be hilariously dumb not to. I don't think there's any chance either of these teams get him, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to make an offer to the top 3 guys, in my opinion, on both teams, with Kerr, Underwood, and Stauffer, and then hopefully, everybody gets somebody. I don't really know. I mean, I don't mind getting any of these guys. I know Underwood's ratings aren't great, but I have had a decent amount of success with him in the past. And then over here with Dallas, we're just going to do the same thing. We're going to max out Steve Kerr. We are going to max out Jacob Underwood, and we are going to max out Mike Stauffer. All right, I'm hoping we get, at least 2 to commit so everybody gets, okay, shit. Okay, well, over here with the Hawks, we actually got Steve Kerr. That's a little surprising. I will 1,000% take that. So Steve Kerr, welcome to Atlanta. Wasn't necessarily preparing for that, but it is the case. And then now we got to maybe turn our attention elsewhere. JB Bickerstaff sitting here. The ratings, again, aren't great. Who else? The head coach is sitting here. Yeah, this is going to be a tough list. I mean, I'll try to make another offer to Jacob Underwood. I'm hoping that he would be willing to come here. Oh, man. Just Dave Yeager. Oh, my God. Yeah, nobody's ratings here. Is Bonnie Williams? Yeah, all these ratings are just fucking awful. This is tough. Is this Chris Bosh? Oh, Carl, what? Could bring in Lloyd Pierce, who was obviously just with us in Atlanta. Doug Collins? Wow. I mean, there's some decent names here. Vinny Del Negro. Oliver Gordon. I could just bring back Carlisle, but I already offered Underwood. You know what? I'm just going to offer Vinny here. He's probably my next best bet if we don't get Underwood. All right, so Vinny, I think I'm leaning No, I'm going with Underwood. All right, that's fine. I know that took way too long, but we only have to do it once, and both of these teams got really, really solid head coaches. So I think that was very much worth it. All right, up to the draft. Both teams do have their first-round picks. Of course, they're not nearly as high as we were maybe initially anticipating, but they are certainly both assets, and I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with either of these yet, so hang with me. We're hitting up the New Orleans Pelicans here as the Dallas Mavericks. We're going to see if they have any interest in maybe trading me Drew Holiday. Look, I think Drew Holiday would be a really big X factor in a backcourt next to Trae Young, who's obviously not really known as a defensive-oriented guard. So here's what we're offering. It's Hayward, Dennis Smith Jr., and then our 19th overall selection. I want Jalen Brunson to get minutes. Again, I know he's not going to develop into nearly the player he is today, but Dennis Smith Jr., we kind of know where his career goes, right? He's not really going to get much better. And Drew Holiday would be a significant upgrade. So I know we're going to have to give up probably, something a little more value if you want Langston Gallup. Okay, all right, just like that. So very excited to have Holiday here. Weirdly enough, Gordon Hayward's overall was going down. Maybe his morale was just in the toilet or whatever, but very excited to have Drew here. He is obviously, well, not at this point. He's not a champion, but, he's very experienced, very good defensively. So that leaves us in an interesting spot because obviously Dirk retired, so meaning Harrison Barnes is going to have to likely take over either the small forward or power forward spot, or we could just completely hit the reset button and maybe try to trade him as well because I'm not completely sold on Harrison Barnes, and I'd be lying to you if I said I was. So let's just maybe glance. What are some Harrison Barnes kind of trade offers? Ooh, Kemba. No, I don't really know where the hell I'd play Kemba. Kevin Love. This exciting. What the fuck? What is this, Minnesota, Kevin Love? All right, well, that is something I certainly have to entertain, right? I mean, Harrison Barnes is certainly a fine player. He's not any sort of star or anything like that. And at this point in 2019, 2020, I wouldn't say Kevin Love's a star either, but look at those goddamn numbers. I get he's 30. We're doing this. I'm not really giving up much else in terms of value. Welcome to the team, Kevin Love. That's my new power forward. I think I'm still comfortable enough with Horford. I know he's 33. We might see some slight regression unless there's just an offer that's like too good. Whoa, he's 1.5 stars. Jesus Christ, it's tough to see my guy like this. Ooh, I don't want to give up Brunson, though. But Steven Adams would be nice. I mean, he puts up really kind of similar numbers here to Al. I mean, maybe a little bit less in the rebounding and assist department. But from an age perspective, this makes a lot of sense. I don't know if there's a way to maybe not give up Jalen Brunson. I don't want to give him up. I don't. Again, I'm very much aware of what the situation is, and I know that potential is never really going to be reached, but I want to hang on to him. So how about my first in 2020? They want a second, and they'll give me a first? That's logical, right? Thanks, 2K. All right, look, there's nothing wrong with Al. I absolutely love Al Horford, but we're getting younger here with Steven Adams. I think that makes a little more sense. Now the decision is, what do we do with the small forward spot, right? We have 4 out of 5 starters completely filled out. I think what I'm going to do right now is kind of pivot over here to Atlanta. I know the draft hasn't even happened yet, so hang with me. We're here in the 2019 draft with the Atlanta Hawks, and I've decided I wanted to use my 17th overall pick. I don't know if we're actually going to get a player that's going to be really valuable to this team, but we're hopefully going to get somebody that can contribute at least a little something. So here's a look at the draft order so far. A couple names kind of fell a little bit, but this is overall-wise, it's a pretty decent draft class. So just looking at some names here, Nick Claxton jumps out to me immediately. I know Alex Len's going to be entering unrestricted free agency, and we're getting a little bit of an upgrade here. So he's kind of my guy right now in terms of who I'm seeing here. Jarrett Culver. What the hell happened to Jarrett Culver? Oh, man. All right. Keldon Johnson, also certainly a serviceable player, but Claxton's going to be my guy. Excited to have him. And then maybe, you know what? I'll use my number 2 overall pick in round 2 as well. Grant Williams. I mean, maybe. Ooh, Lou Dort sitting here, but he's just so lowly rated. I don't think it's going to benefit us. All right. Grant Williams is going to be my guy. All right. And then I have 2 later second-round picks as well. I don't think anybody's going to want them. Oh, this is weird. The value of players, especially that are older, is like really, really low in today's video. So, just draft 2 players there. I'll likely not even sign them anyways. So that's where we're at here with the Atlanta Hawks. Claxton 74, Williams 71, Joshua Watson, and John Conchar actually a real player at least. So you know what? I'll bring him in. And then over here with Dallas, we obviously had nobody. So team player options, nobody for Dallas. Here with Atlanta, nobody either. Now we enter qualifying. Nope. And DFS certainly would like to extend one. All right, this is an insane free agency class. This is an insanely loaded free agency class. I know it's going to be tough, but I think there's a possibility maybe we get Jimmy Butler here with one of these teams. Nikola Jokic also sitting here has 6 offers. We're going to go with the Lakers, imagine. All right, we're going to have to clear up some cap space with one of, if not both of these teams. I have some big news coming. I was actually kind of wrong. I didn't really have to clear up cap space because we actually had money. Here with the Dallas Mavericks, I made one offer and one offer only. That was Mr. Jimmy Butler. He would come in, take over as the gaping hole at my small forward spot right now, and he'd be a fantastic addition to what this team already is. And then with the Atlanta Hawks, I made 3 contract offers. One was to James Harden, one was to Kawhi Leonard, final one was to Nikola Jokic. 2 of the 3 were very low on the priority list in terms of who offered them deals. The other one, it was number 1. So I'm thinking we're getting 2 superstars right now. Let's find out. Here with the Atlanta Hawks, we signed Kawhi Leonard. Exactly what I was hoping for. And over here with the Dallas Mavericks, we are signing Jimmy Butler. Exactly what I was hoping for. This is going so beautifully so far, and I am just absolutely thrilled right now. So Kawhi Leonard, welcome to Atlanta. Jimmy Butler, welcome to Dallas. All right, did not expect this to go the way that it did. James Harden goes to Minnesota, and Jokic goes to the Lakers. Oh, my God. I am very excited. I just want to make sure we got both these guys on both sides. We are good. Now let's just kind of take a look at the state of these teams right now. Of course, super pumped to have Kawhi here. I still think there's maybe 1 or 2 upgrades here, especially with with Atlanta. But here in terms of the Dallas Mavericks, we are it's kind of rolling with the punches right now. We have a really, really talented starting 5. It's just a little bit more about filling out the bench here with this Mavericks group. So I'm pumped. Got some more trades coming. We're hitting up the Houston Rockets and seeing if they may be interested in trading me Clint Capella. Look, Derek Favors was a fantastic placeholder for 1 season, but ultimately that's exactly what he was. And now we're looking for an upgrade, getting a little bit younger here with Clint, getting a little overall higher. And I'm pretty happy if this is a deal that we can maybe facilitate. So I'm offering Taurean Prince just because, we signed Kawhi freaking Leonard. He's going to eat up a lot of the small forward minutes. And you got to give something to get something. So I would also maybe be willing to include Conchar in this deal. Wow, that's it. That's all it takes. All right, well, welcome to the team, Clint Capella. He's 25 years old. Him and Nick Claxton, they're not exactly identical, but they do a lot of similar things. Not really good floor spacers, good rebounders, good defensive centers. You get it. All right, I'm going to give John Collins 1 more season in this starting lineup. It might pay me to say it, but I think there's a possibility I actually give Grant Williams a little bit of run behind him. But Collins is still only 21. It wasn't a great season. It was a solid enough season for him to kind of keep his starting job. So he'll stay there now. We are good here with Kawhi Leonard. I'd like to move Kent Bazemore because ultimately I do want to find 1 more upgrade here with this Hawks group. For some reason, Zach LaVine's only 3 stars. I would like to take advantage of that and maybe add him to this group here in Atlanta. I'm offering up Kent Bazemore, DJ Augustine, DeAndre Bembry, 3 guys who I'm not super fond of anyways. Zach LaVine is a $15 million a year player. He's an 84 overall, and he just averaged 26 a game. I'd like to add him to this team. So I know none of these players are incredibly valuable. I'd give up the draft. Wow. Wow. All right, so Luka, Zach LaVine, now we're backcourt. Kevin Huerter slides to the bench. Ultimately, we tried it for 1 year. Again, I know he's only 20, but we get a nice upgrade here with LaVine. Got to find a backup for Kawhi. I am going to play Grant Williams. We drafted Claxton. So I need a backup 3 and a backup 1 here. Over with Dallas. This group's pretty decent. We have 1 and 2 at the point guard spot. Need a backup shooting guard, backup small forward, backup power forward. Wow. All right, I got to be kind of careful with who I sign here. Because we need a lot. We do. Okay, shooting guard spot. Oh, boy. These are not great options. They're certainly not. Oh, man. Darren Collison, he's a little old, but he's a little short, too. Shit. I knew the benches were going to be kind of, in a shitty spot here. I guess Avery Bradley will have to do for Dallas. And then here with Atlanta, what did I need again? I needed a point guard and a small forward. Okay. So point guard options here. We actually have a little bit more money here. So Spencer Dinwiddie. I'd like to give that a go. Ooh, Scary Terry's sitting here. He only wants about $5.5 million. How much money do I have? Oh, I actually got some funds to play with here in Atlanta. And then I need a small forward. So who are my small forward options? A guy like Kelly Oubre? I think that would fill out that bench nicely. All right, so we get Oubre here. Scary Terry's waiting. We do not get Bradley yet with Dallas. Let's hope that comes true. We get Bradley with Dallas. And then I'm still waiting over here on Scary Terry. All right, come on. Let's just see. I'm losing it right now. I'm all over the place. All right, Oubre, we're good here except for the backup point guard spot. And then with Dallas, we definitely need a little bit more because we need to find ourselves some backup wings. Okay. Oh, boy. This is kind of exactly what I was, initially anticipating was going to be kind of the case right now, and we don't really have much money to spend. All right, Jonas Jerebko is certainly not my favorite addition to this team, but he'll probably have to do. And then in terms of the small forward... Oh, man, this is bad. This is very, very bad. All right, Michael Beasley is only 30. I'll move 1 of them to the small forward spot. We get Beasley. Oh, we get Scary Terry as well. And then we're waiting on Jerebko. Holy shit, this is just such a fucking process. We get Jerebko. All right, that's 10 guys for both teams. Again, I know Dallas's bench is certainly a little bit weaker. 6'10 versus 6'9, 74 versus 74. All right. We'll move Michael Beasley to the backup small forward spot. My focus in next offseason is certainly going to be improving this Dallas bench, but it's a really, really good starting five. And then over here with Atlanta, we've certainly done a good enough job of putting a competitive product out there. So, holy shit. I'll see you guys at the start of year 2. I know we're only at the start of year 2 right now. I've been recording for over an hour. I have no idea what minute we are into the video, but I understand this is probably a long one, so I just wanted to apologize in advance. I did not initially anticipate this being, a 45-minute video, but it looks like that's probably the case. So, my apologies. I hope you enjoy if you like long videos. Here's how it looks after a relatively successful first season. We overachieved, in my opinion. Now we're kind of back with a vengeance. Very, very exciting offseason for us. Big free agency. And here goes nothing. It is Trae Young, Drew Holiday, Jimmy Butler, Kevin Love, Steven Adams. Really talented starting five. I think this team can actually be competitive in a very, very good Western Conference. The one place we're a little hurt is the bench. It's insane to think, but Jalen Brunson is going from G League to sixth man. Crazy jump, but we need it. It's what we got on the bench. Nerlens Noel, Avery Bradley, Michael Beasley, and Jonas Jerebko. I know, the majority of this bench is really, really bad, and it's certainly something we'll, look to fix this offseason, but the starting five's really good, and they are certainly playing a lot of minutes. So that's where we're at there with Dallas. Here with Atlanta, Luka Doncic, Zach LaVine, Kawhi Leonard, John Collins, and Clint Capella. I think this team fits really well around Luka and kind of the way he plays the game. So explosive team, obviously got some guys that can play defense, catch lobs, so I really like the way it fits. Bench unit's a lot better here in Atlanta. It is Kelly Oubre Jr., Terry Rozier, Kevin Huerter, Nick Claxton, and then Grant Williams is getting some minutes, actually. But again, we've made do with what we had, and these teams went from pretty bad when we started to really, really good right now. I will see you guys at the end of year number 2. I simmed the season with Atlanta, and we finished with a record of 60-22. Very, very nice jump from where we were last season, and this is likely the 1 seed here in the Eastern Conference. Well, maybe not, because this guy is pretty good. Coming off his second straight MVP and a Finals MVP. Ja Morant is your Rookie of the Year there in Orlando. I'm assuming he was number 2 overall. He was. Miles Turner is now in Sacramento. He's your 6th man of the year. Giannis is your depoy as well. Jordan Bell, he gave some solid minutes at some point in time to the Warriors, didn't he? No, both teams won 60 games. Okay, I will take that. Let's dive into the standings a little bit. Here in the East, 60-22. Absolutely beautiful. We're the number 1 seed in the conference. Here in the West, we were actually second. The Lakers won 61 games, but not to worry. I'm feeling good about both these teams right now. All right, this is going to be tough. I'm going to look at the numbers. This is going to be tough. It is always hard to pay attention, but let's go over some stats real quick. Jimmy Butler, Kevin Love, Trae Young, Holiday, Brunson, Adams, Bradley, Noel, Beasley, and Jerebko. Rebounds led by Kevin Love, and assists was Drew Holiday with damn near 9 a game. All right, over here with the Atlanta Hawks, let's talk about the stats a little bit. Points per game, it was Kawhi Leonard, Zach LaVine. Luka Doncic actually took a little bit of a back seat. I understand Kawhi. This is still like primetime Kawhi, being number 1, but I'm surprised LaVine did more than him. But again, I don't really care as long as we're winning basketball games. Rebounds was led by John Collins and assists was Luka. All right, we are the 1 and the 2 seed. I got to pay attention to both these matchups closely. Okay, maybe not so much over here in the East. Over here in the West with the Trailblazers, Dame, CJ Hardaway Jr., they're pretty good. So that's going to be a little bit more of a challenge. Here in the East, I can kind of coast a little bit. Win game 1 in the East, win game 1 in the West. We win 2 in the East. We go up 3-0, we go up 2-0. I'm trying to do the best I can. Sweep, now over here to Dallas. Can we close out the Portland Trailblazers and get this done? I'd like to sweep them. Okay, they do win 1 game. Thank you. Moving on to the conference semifinals here. We have the Oklahoma City Thunder. Russ, Ferguson, George, Grant, old man Al. Al Horford's tenure in Oklahoma City feels like a fever dream. I swear to God, I don't even remember that point in my life. And then with Philadelphia, Fultz, Redick, Rocco, Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid. All right. A little more scary for both matchups. We lose game 1 in both, which is, of course, less than ideal. We lose game 2 in both. Oh, man. We're down 3-0 to the Thunder. We do win 1 here in round 2 in the East. Win 1 there in both, 2-2. Okay. Up 3-2 in the East, down 3-2 in the West. Going to game 7 here in the Western Conference. We're on to these finals. Holy shit. Okay, can we come back from being down 3-0? Holy shit. Okay. LeBron. Oh my God. Okay, well, we thought we saw some challenges last round. You haven't seen a fucking thing. Ingram, LeBron, and Jokic. Holy shit. And over here with the Indiana Pacers, Victor Oladipo. James Harden's in Indiana. Oh, goody. Oh boy, these are going to be some very, very challenging series. All right, we lose game 1 in both again. Not the way. Oh my God. All right, we finally. It feels like we're winning and losing at the same exact time in both series, and we go up 3-2 in both. Oh my God, 2 game 7s. 2 game 7s. I'm just going to simcast it. I have a feeling. I'm feeling good. I'm going to close my eyes, and on the count of 3, I'm going to hit sim. 1, 2, 3. I think we made it. I think we made it with both. Holy shit! I didn't see that. Challenge complete. Challenge is complete. Oh my God. I did not expect this to happen. Oh my God. Well, we are here. I don't really know which team I want to use her. I'll probably just use her whichever team is winning the series, but this is absolutely insane. I did not think this was a possibility here. All right, the Hawks are up 3-2, so I'll simcast it. I'd like to ideally go to a game 7. I think that'd just be a little more fun, so I'm kind of rooting for Dallas right now, but oh man, this was a crazy one. All right, looks like Dallas is going to hold on here, so we are heading back for a game 7. And I mean, it doesn't really matter. I guess I'll just simcast with Dallas. I mean, I can change in the game too. It's not that big of a deal, but it looks like maybe Atlanta's going to run away with it here. Oh boy. Oh boy. Make it a little competitive at least. A very low scoring affair. All right, we'll hop in here with the Atlanta Hawks a little bit, get a few shots up, I guess. Why not? All right, we are here with the Atlanta Hawks. We've switched over to them just because, you know, we are obviously going to be winning with them. I mean, both these teams were absolutely insane. I was not expecting this literally at all for year 2. I am sure you can already probably tell by how much time's left. I am ending the video right now. It was really just to see if I could get this done. And of course, I could go one more year, but it's not going to change anything. I would have kept the teams basically exactly identical. And if this video wasn't long as shit, maybe I go one more year as well. But this video has been already way too long and I have shit to do. So just being completely honest with you guys. No, this was fun though. This was very fun. I've always liked 2-team rebuilds. Of course, they do take, you know, a little bit longer than usual, right? I mean, you have to rebuild 2 teams instead of just one. And sometimes it is kind of hard to keep track of where you're at. But no, this is a crazy what if. And I thought it would be fun right now to kind of do a rebuild. It's not just around Luka, but, you know, with the finals just kicking off, game 1 was last night. Of course, I don't know what happened. I really hope the Celtics won. I think it'd be a very fun series. No, I'm just trying to think a little bit about, honestly, what the fuck? I'm trying to think, you know, what would the NBA look like, right, if this was never a deal that was made? You know, I'm assuming Luka's definitely still as good as he is. I don't think that's anything in question. He's not, you know, the player he is because of Dallas. Of course, it helps to be on a team that, you know, committed to winning and all that stuff, and next to Kyrie Irving and all those fun things. But I don't know. I mean, I can't imagine Luka in my conference. Of course, now my team's facing him in the finals, so it doesn't really matter. But no, Luka is one of, if not the best player in the world right now, and I'm sure, you know, many people will say, oh, this was a fair trade. In some sense of it, I do think it's fair. You know, of course, Trae Young has led his team to a conference finals, and he is still a very, very elite player, and I still don't think he gets credit for how good he is. But if you're going back and you had hindsight, I don't think Atlanta makes this deal at all. Well, if you had hindsight, I'm sure, you know, maybe the Phoenix Suns take Luka #1 overall. Just a thought. But no, I mean, all things considered, it's certainly not the worst deal in the world. It definitely does hurt watching, you know, Luka go to the finals and all those fun things, because the Atlanta Hawks have the #1 overall pick this year. So crazy to think about, you know, kind of what ifs and all those fun things. But we'll do one more possession here. I kind of want to hit a step back 3, like right in Trae Young's face. Can I just shimmy there a little bit and then, no way, right? Oh, that would have been sick. All right, this one's over. This video's certainly been long enough. Let Trae shoot. I'll let Trae shoot a 3. Shoot. There you go, Drew. Okay, this one's over. What a fun rebuild. What a fun rebuild. This one was an absolute blast, and Kawhi Leonard is your finals MVP. So we finish off this rebuild strong. There are 2 really, really talented teams here. Feel free to pause if you want to look them over one more time. Of course, the bench here with Dallas especially is just a little bit weaker. I wasn't necessarily kind of planning that out to be that way, but no, these teams made the finals, and Luka just won a championship at 21 years old. So this one was fun. I had an absolute blast with it. Again, nobody gave me this idea. I kind of just thought of it on my own, and ended up being a really good video. So I know it was long as shit. I'll try to keep this short. Of course, as I've mentioned now a million times, we are in a very down period right now until the NBA draft and free agency, yada, yada, yada. You get it. And maybe some blockbuster trades as well. So I need video ideas. So let me know anything you want to see down below in the comment section. Of course, I will try to do everything that you guys comment, as I always do. But this one was a blast. This video is going out on Friday, so I hope you guys all have a really great weekend. As always, thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.